Alright, so today's video is going to be a little different. I want to tell you guys a little bit about myself here and what led me to the journey of playing guitar. Excuse the rocking in my chair and the squeak. This kind of has something to do with what I'm going to talk about today. And it is life with ADHD. So I was diagnosed with ADHD at 5 years old because I was in kindergarten. And I would talk over people, I would blurt out stuff in class, never pay attention very well, always getting bad report cards. So my mom takes me to the doctor and they diagnosed me with ADHD. Start slapping me on the treatments for it, medications. The first one I was on was Ritalin. And I took this stuff all through elementary school. And while I was on it, I could not gain weight. I could not get over 50 pounds. So when I hit middle school, 12, 13 years old, I was maybe 60 pounds. So then they were like, okay, we're not going to have him on that anymore. Let's go to Adderall. The blue Adderall pill. Little bitty pill, about like that. Little bitty pill. And I took that all the way up until ninth grade. And then one day, I'm coming home on the bus, and I started feeling really nauseous, like really nauseous. And I was like, oh man, I don't know what's going on. I get home, go to the bathroom, and get sick. Told my mom about it. I've been feeling that way since after lunch. So we go back to the doctor again. And they say, oh, the dosing is too strong. So we're going to take him off of that one. And then the last one I took was called Concerta. A little gray pill. And it was okay. It was pretty good. And I took that up until I was 15 years old. And then they took me off of everything. Completely. Now, let me tell you what this stuff does. These medications, Adderall, Ritalin, Concerta, for us, people that have ADHD, it's a stimulant drug. That's what it is. But when we take it, it acts as a downer. Ritalin and Adderall and Concerta had me like a zombie. I mean, I would sit there and just stare off into space. And in the lunch line, getting food at lunch, people would get their food in front of me, and I'd just be standing there, and someone behind me tap me on the shoulder. Hey man, are you gonna move? Because we gotta get our food, and it's like, oh, I completely forgot. So that's what it does to us. If someone without it takes it, they take Ritalin or Adderall or Concerta, it's like speed. It will hype you up beyond belief. So, just be careful with that stuff, man. Because if you take it all the time, they can become dependent. So, anyway, enough about that. Let's talk about how ADHD affects people. So, the first thing it affects is your attention span and your concentration. And that's how they found it with me, was my grades. Because I'd be thinking about my work, and then as I'm doing my work, zone out and go off in my own little world, thinking all kinds of crazy thoughts, just running stuff through my head. It's like you have 1,000 thoughts racing through your mind, and nothing can stop it. And so it makes it very hard to focus on things. And then our emotions. We have a very hard time handling emotion. Like, someone makes you mad, you get angry with them, but you'll be over it in a few minutes. And it's like, whatever, man, it's cool. But some of us, not all of us, but some people with ADHD, you make them mad, they will go from 0 to 100 on you real quick. And they won't like hurt you or anything, but they'll be arguing with you and they'll get really mad and defensive and just raise their voice at you and just get really like pissed off. And most of the time when that happens, for me, it happens for me sometimes with people. And I don't mean for it to, but when it does, I'll just walk away. And then we have sometimes certain situations, like for me, it's big crowds. I hate big crowds of people. But certain situations trigger our flight or fight. And that's where you feel like you're in danger. You gotta get out, run away. And that's how I feel. Could be just anxiety, but I think it's connected to my ADHD. But I could be like in a big crowded room and just get really uncomfortable and like, man, I gotta get out of here, and see an exit sign. And as long as I can see that exit sign or see a door, I'm okay. I chill out. I'm cool. But if I get into a crowd and I can't see a door out or an exit sign, I start freaking out. The only place it doesn't bother me is at concerts. I can go to a concert, man, watch the bands play, and I'm good all night long. I guess it's just that distraction. You know, us musicians, we're watching the guitar players, we're watching the bassist, the drummer, and even you vocalists out there, you guys are watching the vocalist. If you're a metal fan, you're trying to see how the metal guy, the singer, is doing his screams or his growls or his gutturals or the new, well, not really new, but pig squealing. And we try to learn that stuff. And then right there, what I just did, that's another symptom of it. Stuttering. I stutter a lot. When I get really excited about things, I will stutter. And like people would be talking to me about music or guitar, and I'll start stuttering and can barely get my words out. And then there is the H part. So the ADHD is attention deficit hyperactive disorder. So the H part is the hyperactiveness. That is why I rock like this. Because I always had to be moving. Even my feet right now are hitting the floor. And, you know, like, if I'm just sitting like this, I can sit here for 20 minutes, and then I'll start hitting my leg or doing little drum beats or something on the arm of the chair. It's just like go, go, go all the time. And so, you know, that's the main symptoms of it, and it's really rough sometimes to be cool and collected in public without people looking at you like, what's wrong with you? When you're just sitting with your family doing something like at Walmart, you're sitting on the old bench waiting for people to come out of the bathroom and you're over there drumming on it and moving your head around and stuff. People look at you weird. I've grown used to it, you know. So now that's going to lead into something else that I want to talk about. It's not a symptom of ADHD, but it's something I've endured because of my ADHD. And that is bullying. Okay, so my thoughts on bullying. Guys, it has to stop. I mean, there's kids now that go to school every day and they get picked on and made fun of because they're different. And some of those kids come home from school and commit suicide because of it. It's like, come on, man. How can you possibly do that to someone? Pick on someone so much that they go home and kill themselves because of it. So guys, you know, just always be kind to people because you don't know what people are battling behind closed doors. So what was I bullied for? My hyperness. Talking a lot. Talking over people. And this, look at how skinny I am. I've been this way my whole life. Like my arm, it's like a toothpick. And I had one guy in school, and this has stuck with me. This happened when I was like 15, and I'm 34 years old now. And this statement has stuck with me all these years. He comes walking up to me, "Hey man, when's your funeral? Because you look like you're dying. Do you have cancer? Or what do you do? Do you go home and make yourself throw up everything that you eat?" And all that stuff has just stuck with me. And that's why it needs to stop, because people don't understand the long-term effects that bullying can have on someone. And they say, "Hey man, why don't you just stand up for yourself? The guy's picking on you, hit him back." Well, unless you've been there and you've really been bullied a lot, you don't know how impossible that can be to do. And then you go home, the person being bullied goes home, and they're sitting here in their room hating themselves because they didn't do anything about it. And so, yeah, they could stand up for themselves, but sometimes it can be really hard to do. So if you are out there and you see some kid being bullied, some teenager being bullied, or even an adult being bullied, stand up for them. Walk up and say, "Hey man, leave the guy alone or leave the girl alone, because if you don't, I'll make you leave them alone." Because you never know what people are dealing with. I just wanted to throw that out there. So, back to the ADHD thing. That's what led me to music. Because all of this energy that I've got, and I still have it today, is like, I just shake a lot. I get fidgety sometimes. I had to find a way to curb that. And guitar was the answer for me. All the medications, they helped to pay attention in class and stuff like that. And then I was 14 years old, got my first guitar, and started to play. And I was like, God, I'm never going to learn. Can't do it. I'm so surprised that I was able to focus long enough to learn the guitar. So that's another thing about ADHD. If it is something that we want to learn, people that have it, we will hyper focus on that. If we want to learn to play guitar, a musical instrument, or playing video games, if you're really into that, which I love video games too, we will hyper focus on that stuff. And we'll be locked into it for hours and hours and hours. But if it's something that we don't want to do, like schoolwork or chores or something like that, it's like we can't focus on it. We just can't do it. And I've heard all the time, I've heard people say, "You pick up a belt and whoop that kid's ass, he might be a little bit better." That doesn't work. You can't beat ADHD out of your kids. I mean, yeah, discipline the kid. It works in the discipline form, but if you're trying to give them a spanking or whoop them because they're being hyper and doing things that we can't help because of the chemical imbalance in our brain, the discipline stuff isn't going to make it go away. And I've seen that post on Facebook so many times. It has a picture of a belt. Back in my day, this was my ADHD medicine. You don't get it. So yeah, you can hyper focus on certain things. If it's what you're really into, we can do that. But if we don't want to do it, we're not going to be able to focus on it. And another thing that will trigger us to have a meltdown, because we can have meltdowns sometimes where our brain gets overloaded. is like if you're trying to do an important task or someone's trying to get you to do something that you don't want to do when you have ADHD, that will cause us to have like a breakdown, like a meltdown. And you've heard the expression, don't parent somebody. If you do that to an ADHD person, try to tell them what to do, what they should be doing, or try to make them do something, it's going to make them not want to do it even more. Because it's like we just can't handle it. It's just overload, brain overload. We can't do it. And then we have organization problems. We can't organize thoughts in our brains. We can't even organize our rooms. Like, check this out. Look at my clothes. Prime example. There's Doritos and all kinds of crap when I'm sitting here playing guitar. But yeah, we can organize. We just procrastinate about it a lot. So, just wanted to put this video out there and let everyone know what life is like with ADHD for some of us. And my thoughts on bullying, man. I've never understood the reasons of why you need to pick on someone. Why you need to make them feel so bad about themselves that they go home and do something like what I've seen kids do. Go home and commit suicide because of that. Be kind to everybody always. Even if people aren't kind to you, be kind to them anyway. Because, the emotions of what it does to you, well, eventually, they won't go away, but they don't hang around. So they say, kill them with kindness. Yeah, do that. But that's what's led me to guitar. I needed to focus on something to get all my energy out, and I found out that it was the biggest passion that I've ever had. Video games is what it used to be. I would play video games for hours and hours and hours. I've burned up Super Nintendos. I've burned up Sega Genesis. Burned out a PlayStation, 2 of them. Burned out 3 PS2s. Burned out a PS3. I'm on my second PS4 now. Excuse me. And guitar has took over that. And guitar is much more engaging for my mind. Unless I'm playing certain games, like Resident Evil, I can play all day long. Mortal Kombat, all day long. Crash Bandicoot, yeah, man. Anything that challenges me, I can focus on it. But we just get bored real easy though. Like I'll be sitting here watching a movie, and then all of a sudden, I want to play guitar. Turn the movie off in the middle of the movie, play guitar for 30 minutes. Now I'm going to play a game. Get bored of that. What else can I do? And I just sit here. What else can I do? Go to sleep. So, going to sleep with ADHD, not easy. Sometimes it causes insomnia. I've had several nights of insomnia. And to all you people out there that can lay down and go to sleep immediately, I envy you. It takes me an hour, maybe, sometimes an hour to lay down and go to sleep. And when you close your eyes, trying to doze off, there's all sorts of thoughts going through your head, just racing through your mind. We get stressed out really easily, and we stay stressed over little bitty things for a lot longer than we should. And so that causes sleep problems. We don't sleep all through the night. Our body's like, time to get up, and it's still dark outside. Time to get up, start your day. And I work day shift at my job. I have to get up at 5:50 every morning. And I work from 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. I'll go to sleep tonight. And then I'll wake up 1 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock. Go back to sleep. Wake up at 5:50. Go do my day. I did it today. and I'm really tired, but I want to make this video and let everybody know a little bit about me and, the struggle that I go through. Because ADHD is a struggle. The struggle that I've dealt with because of bullying, you know. And it didn't happen a lot until high school. High school is when it got the worst because I was the hyper kid and wasn't very quiet all the time. I became that way. I became very quiet, reserved, only hung out with a very select few people. And one of my best friends, I've known him since we were 5 years old. We went to elementary school together first, and then I failed kindergarten. Well, was held back in kindergarten. But I met him my second year of kindergarten, and then I moved. So we got separated for 5 years. And then I get to middle school, he's in the library. And we went through middle school and high school together, and we still talk today. Just seen him yesterday to help him hook up his new Valve King PV hashtag. And that thing sounds amazing. But me and him has been friends for like 28 years, and he has ADHD too. So me and him, we click very well because our minds are alike. And there's one other thing about it that I want to mention. Ice cream and cake at parties. For us, not a good idea. Because all that sugar and that ice cream and that cake icing, oh man. My parents used to have to make me be quiet. It was crazy. I could talk not eating nothing all day long about all kinds of stupid shit. And then when they took me off the medicine that I was on, I was like a zombie on this stuff, man. Just zoned out and just stand there looking off into space. I don't know what I was looking at. But when they took me off of it, it was like somebody stretched a rubber band as far as it could go and just let go. Think about it like Robin Williams and Flubber. How the flubber just bounces around the room everywhere. That's what it was like. All that energy that was repressed with the medication just came bowling out. So that's why I sit here and I rock now like I do. And when I was a kid, I used to sit on the couch and rock. Like literally rock back and forth like this and beat my head against the couch. Me and my sister both did that. And she had heard it could be some form of autism. So I don't know, maybe. But anyway, this video is getting a little long here, but I just wanted to make that for you guys and let you guys know a little bit about me and my struggle that I deal with every day. But as I've gotten older, I've learned to manage it quite well. So it's not as bad. Sometimes I can get on my friends' nerves. Especially one friend I hang out with. She gets frustrated with me sometimes. But it's not something that we mean to do. And it's not something that we can help. So just think about that. If you're ever around ADHD people and you see them being weird, that's just something we can't help. But anyway, you guys have a good night. And I hope this video can maybe inform some people and maybe help some people that might be going through some bullying. Because you know what? They'll pick on you. But where do you think they'll be going in life? No telling. But don't let it hold you down. Don't let it hold you back. Because they're only picking on you because of their own insecurities. That's mainly the reason that I've found. So everybody out there that's going through bullying, stand up for yourself. Even though it could be really hard to do. Once you do, you're going to feel so much better about yourself. And everybody out there that plays guitar, you keep shredding it up. And anybody out there that's going through hardships in life, just keep going, man. Because better days are coming. I can guarantee you. Everyone have a good night. Please like and subscribe if you feel the need.